From the minds of mortal men, the mightiest of machines, TranZor Z!
What's up, collectors? We back with another posing video. This time we got TranZor Z or Mazinger Z. I'm from the US, we call him TranZor Z. On the table, we gonna be posing him up. This is the stuff that I use. I got the Iron Man Mark 46 by Hot Toys Flame Effects. Picked up some extras on eBay. I got the mountain putty. I got some clear rods that I picked up from Amazon, which you can break to different sizes. I got a clear base that I also use. I took a drill and put a hole in it to hold the rod, and I use it for support for things I need to be in the air. I also got my 1/6 scale flight pole with the bendy rod and the waist clamp. Y'all see me use this a lot in 1/6 and Transformer videos. And I got all his accessories that he came with, and we gonna get this thing posed up. First pose is TranZor Z in standby mode, waiting for the Hovercraft to land to be powered up. And the way we do this pose is I took a clear rod and I used some mountain putty on both ends to hold the Hovercraft above his head. As you can see the putty right there. Now this is good for the shelf because you can't really see the clear rod, or you can use a string if you got that type of setup, but I don't. But you could take pictures like this and simply just remove the rod out of it, and bam. Next pose is just a basic museum pose, one arm up, a slight bend on the elbow on the other arm, a little bit of head tilt, and there you go. A basic museum pose. You don't want to do anything too crazy on your shelf, then this will work right here. Alright, for this pose, we're using the rod, the putty, my in-game Thanos diorama base, so we can get a little bit of dynamic flavor for this pose. Also using the flame effect to demonstrate the fist flying off after being fired off by TranZor Z. Real simple to pull off, and it looks even better when you snap the picture and remove the pole from the image. Here's another variation of him firing off his, what is that? His hand, his arm, his forearm, firing off his forearm. Got him standing on the diorama base. Nice little dynamic pose. I really like that, and it looks even better in pictures. Next pose is a kneeling pose. As you can see, I got his waist cover removed to show you that he can get some nice bends. Plus he has the drop down joints. And then if you look on his leg in the back, you push this piece in and it allows his leg to bend even further than 90 degrees. But you can get a nice kneeling pose on him. But the problem is, and it's a pain in the butt, getting this dude in position. He is a floppy mess. Floppy, and he has joints that are, his joints just suck. Either they too tight or too loose. Anyway, so this piece right here, the way they designed it, it's you have to pretty much remove it and then just sit it back on there. I got the elbows. In order to get past 90 degrees, you gotta pop the tab loose, which is gonna create this ugly gap, but that's the only way you can get that double arm band on them. But from certain angles, you don't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, as y'all can see, I can't get this fool to stay in position. It's a pain in the ass. This shooting these poses was like the most unpleasant part of this video. Not shooting them, getting them in these poses. This video was no fun to shoot at all. Anyway, once you get him in position, you pretty much just gotta sit this on him. It's not gonna go back in place because it's not made to do that. So you gotta pretty much cheat and trick people's eyes, but there you go. The lack of hip skirts is a big problem, or the fact that they didn't design the drop down leg to go down even further. It's just a problem. So anytime you mess with, you deal with this pose, you have to remove the waist cover and then pretty much sit it back on them once you get them in the position you want them to be in, because it will fall off. And now I have the pleasure of trying to get him to get back in position. Oh, floppy piece of... this thing is a pain in my ass. I'm keeping all this in the video too, just so y'all can see how much of a pain in the ass this thing was to pose. He has ankle tilts, but it's not deep enough. And this is the drop down area. As you can see, the joints don't drop down far enough either, but you can still pull off a nice pose. I think this looks even better than what I just did. A few slight modifications. I pulled out my flight stand to give him some support in the back. And then, for a picture, you just remove that out the picture and voila, you got a nice pose. For example. All right, here we go with another pose, the double arm cannons. Some of these poses, I'm not going to even say nothing because they're pretty simple and self-explanatory. So I'll be jumping in and out on the ones y'all really need explanations on. This one is quite simple. So I'm just gonna shut up and let y'all look. As you can see, I got him in this real dynamic squatting down pose, right? Now, in order to pull this off, the damn diaper that he has on, you got to pretty much have it dangling off. So what I did is I took some magnets. I got some small magnets that I keep around for cases like this, or if I want to put like magnets on my 6 scale clothes to make the coats of some clothes easier, I glue like magnets on them. But in this case, I'm using magnets because this thing uses a lot of magnets to hold all the parts together. I just slipped some extra magnets on here to keep this thing in place. Now from this angle, you good to go. It's only when you look over here off to the side right here where you see the nastiness. You can see it's clearly not touching. I got a string of magnets right here that were meant to like kind of attract to this piece here, kind of pull it. Even though it's not connected, it still got like a slight pull. And then on this side, I got another set of 3 magnets, and it's actually holding that piece to that piece. So from this side, you can see the big old gap right here. And this side is ugly. But if you keep it like right here, right there, or if you take a shot from above going down, you don't even know what's going on. All you see is a real dope pose. And if you have it on the shelf like this, or if you take some pictures with it like this, it's fine. You just don't want to see those sides or that side. Then you got a problem. It's all about trickery, the magic of posing. You just got to trick people into thinking they seeing what they seeing when they really not seeing what they seeing. That's what it looks like from the back. All this would have been fine. This wouldn't have been an issue or a problem if they had flaps or they made this diaper slightly smaller. Then we would have been fine. But since they got this big ass diaper on him, that's what creates a problem with the legs. Like, see, if I take this off, it's not an issue at all. He got plenty of space for posing. The legs are fine. They got the drop down joint. You could drop them down even further. You could do a whole lot of stuff with this dude. It's this damn diaper. This diaper is what creates the problem when posing him. So you got to do a lot of posing magic to get him in his dynamic poses because of this stupid diaper. All they had to do was put a couple flaps on here and this would have been fine. This is old school type of crap right here. But let's move on to that next pose. And what should have been a flight pose is a jumping pose because I couldn't get the wings to cooperate. But anyway, I got him jumping, and he's on the 6 scale pole, but you can't even see it because I have it angled in such a way that it's hidden, and that's how you want to take the picture. Now from this angle you can see it now. Pretty easy pose to pull off. Well, actually it's not, because, and you see the stand and the clamp, but his knee wouldn't stay bent, so I had to kind of brace it up against the pole. Like I said, those ratchet joints are terrible, but the pose came out pretty good. Again, I had to untab his arm to get the type of bend that I wanted, but from this angle you can't see that, or this angle. Now from there you can, but again, for pictures, it's all about the angle. Right there you can't see it. Unfortunately, that's the only way you're gonna get that double bend. I'm gonna angle his arm down some. And there you go. How many of y'all remember this dumb run he used to do? He used to have his arms just flapping all kind of stupid ways. Figure I'd recreate that. Why not? I mean, it was kind of a pain to get this leg to stay like that because this thing is a floppy mess. But, you know, part of the territory we're getting this figure. But yeah, this is a silly run he used to do. Since there's no way to get him to stand on his own in this pose, I had to use my 6 scale pole back here. And depending on how you have him standing for a picture or on the shelf, you don't even see the pole. Like right now, you don't see it. You'll see it as I spin him around. Hopefully he doesn't fall off. But there's the pole right there. And that's a 6 scale pole. And you see it when I have him turn this way. And of course, you'll see it from the back. But yeah, from right here on this angle, you can't see it. Oh, one of the dumbest runs I've seen in cartoon history. One whose run looks dumber, his or the Flash? Ezra Miller's Flash. All right. Another pose you gotta cheat to pull off. You gotta disconnect it again to get the arm to even go all the way over. Man, it don't look too bad like that either. But that is an ugly gap. I don't know why they didn't put like something right here. Or it just made it double jointed so when you did bend the arm, you didn't have to do this, but they didn't do that. But that's the pose. And of course, from this angle, you don't see that problem. I just threw this in here just for GP. I mean, just to see if he can do it. No other reason. Y'all know how I feel about this pose. A once great pose is now overused, and I'm a part of that problem because I'm one of the people who overuse it. But he can pull off this pose even with the diaper on. He doing the splits. That's them pieces not sitting quite tabbed together because of the pose. Oh, and he has an ab crunch. It's a pain in the ass to get it to work, but he got one. Since I don't own any Kaiju, I have to improvise. So I decided to pull out my Beast Wars Megatron, because this is probably the closest I'm gonna get to a Kaiju that can fight TranZor Z. So that's what we got going on right here. I think this is like a perfect angle for this. Got him walking into battle, ready for war, ready to take this Kaiju out. Looking dead at him, like what? And I got the Kaiju ready to shoot fire out his mouth directly at TranZor Z. But this is another pretty good dynamic pose for this figure. As always, it's a fight to get him to, stand and not fall, because he's a floppy mess. If y'all had to take a shot for every time I said floppy mess in this video, y'all all be drunk right now. Now, in this pose right here, TranZor Z has taken a beating, and he's had a lot of his metal plates knocked up off of him on one side. So this is him being pretty much battle damaged, but refusing to lose and bow down This is him trying to stand, even, you know, in the midst of taking this beating he's taking. He's gonna stand through it and continue to fight. And I just think they look so cool. Matter of fact, we'll readjust his head. And now it looks even cooler. Refusing to give up, he continues to fight, even in his damaged state. And oh shoot, well, his ass about to take a fall. Battle damage mode, y'all. Alright, one of the few poses I got in this video with his wings on, they just would not cooperate. And of course this figure didn't come with any type of flight pose. So me trying to get him in a flight pose was damn near, matter of fact it was impossible because I ain't get him in any. So this is the best I could do with him and his wings on. And I broke a piece because the things kept falling off. Just poor design. Alright, this ain't really a pose. This is just a flex right here. I just think these two look damn good together. This figure is trash, but if you ain't posing it and you just got it on the shelf right next to Voltron, it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Probably the worst video I've ever done. Worst pose video I've ever done. Just so many problems. Couldn't get the lighting right. Camera was acting stupid. The figure wouldn't pose right. Just a pain in my ass figure to pose. Had battery issues. So some poses you see the lights on, and others you see them off. That wasn't on purpose.
Oh, I swear to God, this is probably my worst posing video I've done. This thing gave me so many problems. This is not a well put together figure. It just looked good, but the execution is terrible. It's a floppy mess, loose joints. The ratchets are just too weak to hold the legs in certain positions. I only did like 2 flying poses, and that's because, no, not flying poses. I only did 2 poses with his wings on. None of them were flying poses, and that's because the parts for the wings, the added stuff that you put on them, they just fall off. The tolerances is terrible. Just fall right off. I even broke the tip off the tail fan of the jetpack because it fell off his back as I was trying to put him in a position. It just broke, so I had to glue that back on. And it just kept falling. Fell on the floor. Just wouldn't hold. I tried to get him to hold the Kaiju head that it comes with, the damaged head. The arm kept dropping down. Just the worst posing session I've had with a figure. And that would be the last time I do anything like that with this piece, because it's just not put together that well. It just looks good. It looks damn good. Looks real good. Just the QC on it is terrible. But that's it for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed the poses. If you got this figure or one like it, similar size or whatever, smaller, you probably can get a lot more done than what I was able to do in this video. I was very limited in what I could do. So the stuff that y'all actually saw in this video, just know some of them poses was a miracle to pull off and just to get him to hold them.
Hopefully all the work I put into this video pays off and y'all can get something out of it. Y'all enjoy it, because I didn't.
But with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll holler at y'all later. I'm out. Peace.